And good morning. Welcome to the Out and About Show on 1590 KVGB. Focus on Stafford County. I'm Steve Webster with you as we talk about all the great things going on for our neighbors to the south of Great Bend. And a couple guests with us today. Carolyn Dunn, Stafford County Economic Development Director, in with us today. And also a returning guest, I guess you could say, although it wasn't Ashley Bevan a year ago. Am I correct, Ashley?
Correct.
Okay, it was Ashley
Meyer.
Ashley Meyer from Claflin.
Yes.
Okay. But now, Carolyn Dunn, Ashley is a Stafford Countyan right now, right?
That's right.
Tell me what Ashley's doing.
Ashley is the program director for Stafford County Economic Development now. So she's come on board to help us with carrying out a lot of the programs that we establish. We'll be working a lot with the Healthy Communities Initiative, ongoing entrepreneurship efforts, and also helping give good attention to the communication side of the work that we do.
Ashley, I guess get your foot in the door, and internships do pay off, don't they? This
Yes,
has been a pretty good opportunity. So when did you start, and what have you been doing so far?
I started June 1. I've kind of, just gotten a feel for what I'll be in charge of and leading. We're actually getting together our Healthy Communities Initiative leadership team next week, so I can finally meet all of those people that I'll be in contact with quite frequently. And then last week, I actually went to a leadership conference in Wichita, so I'm still kind of getting a feel for everything.
But as they say, hitting the ground running, it sounds like, though.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll be talking more with Ashley coming up here about some of the programs going on in Stafford County. But first, we had you on last month, and you're talking about a presentation that the SEED students, Stafford County
Stafford Entrepreneurship and Economic Development.
Okay.
SEED.
Okay, the SEED Center in Stafford. The students went down and made a presentation for a new product to the Benny Keith company in Tulsa.
Correct.
This is let me know what happened, because this was a flour product, right? For school lunch programs.
So the kids, over the course of the past year and a half or so, took the newly renovated kitchen at the Stafford High School. It's now a commercial kitchen as opposed to the traditional kind of home ec kitchen. But they took that kitchen, some help from a food scientist, and using flour locally milled at the Stafford County Flour Mills, developed a bread mix product that was specially targeting school food service. So it was made with white whole wheat flour. It's a naturally lighter colored flour because it's white wheat, but it's also ground especially fine with some of the equipment that Stafford County Flour Mills has. So it's got the nutritional benefits of whole wheat, meeting all of those new school food service requirements, but it's more acceptable to the kids' palates that often don't like brown bread. So the students took these elements, developed a bread mix that was very usable for school kitchens, and the entrepreneurship students also at Stafford High School in that program developed the marketing materials. They made developed the design of labels. They took the product through the process of getting nutrition analysis done at K-State so that it was a product ready for presentation to commercial channels. And so, yes, what I talked about last week was last month was the kind of the culmination of that. They actually took the product to a real distributor going to 11 different states in this region, and said, will you buy this product? And also kind of leading to that, they had already done a lot of the groundwork in terms of talking to schools that would pull that product through. And I think that made a good impression on those at Benny Keith, too, that they had already done the work that kind of removed the risk for them in terms of, would the product move through and be profitable for all involved. So the official word is yes, they're going to be taking the product. So we can spend the next year really taking the product and marketing it to schools, going to some food shows, and not just marketing the idea, but no, here's the SKU number. You can actually buy this product and use it in your school lunches.
Incredible.
It's fun.
It is. What happens now? I mean, you mentioned the marketing part of it. Is that the next big step now?
I think the next logical step is to try to participate in some food shows. So those distributors have their own food shows that their customers can attend and find out about what the latest, greatest products are. And there's a couple of them in the fall that I'm aware of that this company hosts in Wichita and in Oklahoma. And we'll see if we can participate in those. And, ultimately the product's just got to be known by those who have the ability to buy it. So that's the next step, is really just working to make awareness and do some marketing.
Who's the instructor down there for the seed program?
Some awesome ladies. Natalie Clark is the instructor for the entrepreneurship program, and Kim Unruh is the instructor for the culinary arts side of things.
How excited are they?
They are they're just a joy to work with. They're just dedicated to what they do and talented and work well with the kids and everything you'd want to see in good education.
Talk about the help you got from Stafford County Flour Mill.
Also, just a wonderful partner. They see value in growing our own people and community, and they've just been very cooperative in every step of the way. They may not see a lot of true profit in this. I think it does help them to be able to expand their brand and product offering. But, it's not a volume at this stage of the game anyway. They're not being driven entirely by profit. They're showing some goodwill in this too. So, but ultimately we hope that it's got the basis to be a very, very successful commercial product.
Okay, you make a product that's good for kids and the kids like it.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing else like this out there, right?
Well,
yeah.
We hope not. There's probably some variations of it,
right?
But it does have its distinguishing traits too. So we're going to really focus on that.
Kid tested though.
Mm-hmm. That was one of the things that was a good learning experience for the kids. They had the opportunity to work with a food scientist who's actually even more specifically a sensory scientist and does this type of testing for, I'll say, a major food manufacturer that everyone would recognize the name of nationwide. And so she was able to show them how to set up the tests just very precise and scientifically. So
how big could this get?
I don't know. At one point I did the analysis of how many lunches and breakfasts are served in Kansas alone. And I haven't looked at those numbers recently enough. But, I think that if it took off well, a semi-truckload a week of this isn't out of the range of possibility.
Are you going to build a statue for those kids out front? Or, is this an ongoing legacy that will continue, right?
We're not planning for it to be just a one-year project and done. I think it can be an ongoing thing forevermore if we choose for it to be. In fact, another thing that I want to give credit to Stafford County Flour Mills for is that they are going to be paying a commission for every bag sold to the seed program. So similar to what they would pay a broker in other contexts around the country that represent their product, the kids here, the program will get a 50-cent per bag commission. And so to your point of how this can continue, there will be an ongoing stream of revenue to support the activities that the school has related to this. And so it should be self-sustaining.
Wow. Congratulations to the kids, the instructors, the seed program, and Stafford County Flour Mills. I just shake my head. That is an amazing story. We will take a break. This is Focus on Stafford County. We will be right back right after this. Welcome back. We are on Focus on Stafford County today on 1590 KVGB. Carolyn Dunn in studio with us. Also, Ashley Bevan from the Stafford County Economic Development. Ashley just on board, getting her feet wet today, and well, it's her second show, so we we got her warmed up before when she was an Ashley Meyer coming over, a Claflin girl now working with Stafford County Economic Development. Okay, Carolyn, we got a lot of things to talk about. Tell me about Bike and Build going on this week.
Well, I think we're just coming down from a high from having hosted this group of people that came to Stafford County from around the United States. We kind of stumbled into knowing about this organization really through our Healthy Communities work and some of the news articles we would see related to the value of physical activity in public health. And it was actually Sydney Blanton last year that saw a news article on it, and it piqued my interest, and I looked more into it. So what the organization is their purpose is to raise awareness for the need of affordable housing. And to do this, they organize cross-country bike rides. They do a fundraising in advance of the bike rides, and then they cross the country. This route that stayed with us, it was going from North Carolina, I think it was Nags Head, but the coast in North Carolina to San Diego, California over the course of 10 weeks. And each week they have a place they stop and contribute their volunteer labor to some type of building related to affordable housing. So last year, and they give grants. Last year we applied for a grant. They didn't stay in Stafford County, but we applied for a grant. And as they were passing through Kansas, the closest location they were to us was in Dodge City. They just spent the night there. They didn't build. But it gave me the opportunity to asked them if they'd like to hear a presentation about what we deal with in terms of rural housing, which, it does have a little bit of a different slant. The idea of what challenges us in affordable housing in rural areas is a little different than what it is in typical urban developments. So I talked to them about that, and I think it's fair to say we kind of hit it off, and I invited them if they'd like to have a build in our area in the future, that we would love to have that opportunity. And lo and behold, this year they did. They came and spent a day in Stafford County.
What day was this?
This was Tuesday, the 23rd.
Okay.
So just this week. And so 29 of them from around the United States. You remember some of the states they were from? There was several that were from North Carolina, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Ohio.
I think one was from Michigan too, if I remember.
I think there might have even been one from Hawaii.
Sure, they appreciated the cool weather that they had here, being from Michigan. So
they had a hard day the day before they got here. It was a 97-mile day, and it's the wind that kills them.
Oh yeah, we're going to ride bike 97 miles, and then we're going to go build some stuff.
Yeah.
So what they do in Stafford?
So we divided the group because it's 29 energetic people, and we wanted to make it a productive day. We do have a little house in Hudson that we have purchased for.
Did they ride their bikes to Hudson?
No.
Okay, so you gave them a ride. Okay, all right.
Did.
Okay.
The Odd Fellows Lodge in St. John was a good place for them to land and stay, spend the night.
Okay.
But then from there, we bused them to Hudson and also to Stafford. And the one that was most directly a housing project is in Hudson because, like I said, we've acquired a small house there for renovation, and it needed to be gutted and readied for a qualified contractor to come in and redo everything. But just the idea of tearing stuff out, we can pay a contractor to do that, or focus on paying the contractor to do the more skilled stuff and take advantage of the volunteers to do the gutting. So that's what we did. And we also had a little outbuilding that needed to be painted and did some landscaping work. But even at that, 29 people in this little place was a lot. So we thought, we'll divide them up even more. And the night before, I'd given them a presentation on the challenges we have. The reason that we need to address housing in rural areas is that it's not only a symptom of, but it's a contributor to why young people choose not to come back in enough quantities as we need to keep the population stabilized. And so it's an economic challenge. It's both a symptom of and a contributor to the economic challenges we have. So we try to address not only housing, but broadly, all sorts of community development needs. So we took them to Stafford as well to work on some things that were more community development oriented. And Ashley led that team of people. We had.
So you're a boss. You were the crew chief then, right, Ashley?
I was,
well,
yes.
Tell me what you guys did in Stafford that day.
So we took 12 of the 29 bicyclists to Stafford, and we put 4 of them on Main Street, and they painted the face of the Chamber of Commerce building. And holy cow, it looks great now. Complete change, and we kind of hope that will spark neighboring businesses to kind of repaint their building faces. And then I took 8 of them. I actually supervised the ones that we took out to the fairgrounds, and we repainted bleachers. There
was a lot of bleachers.
It was, yes. I bet there were almost 10 sets of bleachers, 8 to 10 that we repainted all day yesterday.
Did you get some looks when they were painting downtown? People said, "What's?"
We actually did have some community members stop by and say, "Hey, who are you with? What are you doing?" And then, the bicyclists, they're so enthused that they're in Kansas and just amazed at what we do here and the small town, rural living. And so we had some of the bicyclists asking, well, what do you do for fun? And I think the biggest response was you learn how to make fun out here and you get used to being outside, with the farming aspect of things. So
did somebody tell them we eat too?
Yes, we eat out here. That was somewhat, yeah. The bicyclists in Stafford got told that, the chamber building that we eat. I'm not sure who told them that, but that was the response they got. So,
well, how old are these cyclists? I mean, what's the age group that we're looking at here?
They have to apply to participate, and the age range that's specified is 18 to 25. There are a few that are a little older that are coming back as leaders. They've, I think, in most cases, already participated in a previous year as a rider. And so there was somebody that had told me he had just turned 28. But they brought a lot of energy and just enthusiasm. I tell them, it's kind of, to me, it had multiple benefits. For one, someone asked me, what is the value of the work that they did here? And I told them, I'm familiar with another project that's going on in this area that is a renovation project that also required the demo work before. And I think that the contractors were paid around $3,700 for, it's two or three guys, something like that took a week or more to do the work that these guys were able to do in a day. So that plus the value of all the painting work that was done in Stafford, it was probably somewhere in the neighborhood of $5,000 to $6,000 worth of direct benefit that way. But here's the thing. I think that just as much the value of it was the energy, the kind of the motivational feeling that came from 29 people coming here and saying, the work that you're doing is worth us taking our time to contribute to it. It's good things, and it was just affirming that way, and the
nice
kind
job.
of the emotional boost of it was also good too.
Yeah, nice job painting downtown. It's like, your neighbor gets up and he's not going to mow his yard today. I don't have to worry about it. And he goes out and does it. Okay. Guess I need to do something, but then I have to get down to Stafford and check that out. That'll be neat, especially out the fairgrounds and downtown. We'll take a break. We'll be back for our final segment of Focus on Stafford County coming up right after this. Welcome back. Focus on Stafford County today. Steve Webster with you, and Carolyn Dunn also in from Stafford County Economic Development, and Ashley Bevan, the new program director for the organization. All right, we've got a photo contest going on, guys. Tell me about it, Ashley.
Okay, so this has kind of been an annual thing that recently that we've been doing for the county fair. It's our photo contest, and we just encourage Stafford County community members, to take photos that capture the aspects of living, working, and playing within the county that we can use for, our social media pages and kind of just to market Stafford County in general. So, we have that going on. We'd like to see as many photos as possible of our county. to go ahead and judge. We do have prizes. I think we decided $25 for our first place photos in each one of the categories, and then an unlimited number of honorable mentions that will receive a $5 prize. We don't really have any restrictions as to how many photos one person can submit. We just kind of anything.
So I guess from what we found out today is that if you get a picture of somebody eating, right?
There you go.
That might
really
be
appealing food.
Really appealing food. Okay. And so where do they submit these to, Ashley?
They'll submit them the Wednesday morning of the county fair. And then we have all the requirements and such on our website under the Live tab, I believe.
Stafford County Eco Devo?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's 4x6 photos matted onto what would look like a frame. And then Carolyn and I will go in Wednesday night of the fair and judge them all. So.
Okay, so if you submit a picture that has mountains in the background, they may get thrown out, though, right? We want
Yes.
these. We want these of Stafford County.
Yes.
Okay,
Right.
then is this Stafford County Fair? When's that going to be?
Oh, it's the
Well, later on.
15th.
July 15th.
July 15th is in that range. It's like the Wednesday through Saturday
Okay,
of July that includes the 15th.
is that the
How's
wiener
that?
dog races too?
Oh,
No,
Wiener
that's
dog races are in October.
okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
We've got a ways
No.
to plan for that one.
Well, I'm training a few animals right now. I'm ready to go down there and win it this year. So, guys, thanks for coming in. It's really neat stuff when you guys come on. You get things going on down there.
Well, thank you.
As always.
It's always so fun to talk with you, Steve.
The Stafford High School Bread Makers. We've got a new mascot. Sorry, Trojan's been good for a long time with bread makers. That is such a neat story. That's going to wrap up the program today. Stay tuned. News coming up next here on the Mighty 1590 KVGB. Have a great day, everyone.